straight ahead, sir.
There we go.
Right here.
Coppola, one more time, straight ahead.
And light to me.
And right here, Mr. Legend, thank you. Dustin, down this way. And right here. Right here, guys, right here. Dustin. Right, please. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. One more time. Us down here. Right here. Thank you.
Straight ahead right here.
One more time to the left. Stay with me. One more time. Spike straight ahead real quick here. Thank you. Right here. Aubrey. Aubrey, right here to the right. Straight ahead.
Aubrey, to your right.
That's it, gorgeous. This way, please.
Aubrey, one more right.
Oh, that's it, yeah. And this way, straight ahead,
Right
please.
here, please. Right here, please. Yep.
That's it, right there.
Right here.
One more look.
Mary, one more together.
Francis, right
Straight ahead, please. Two shot, guys together. Three shot.
over here. Turn towards
One
you.
more, Chloe, straight ahead. Right
This
here.
way, yes.
Chloe, turn. And then right here, right shoulder. And
Chloe.
On the right, please. On the right.
Spike right here. Spike this one right here. Slide straight ahead. Spike starting on the right.
Straight ahead, sir.
One more time on the right, Natalie. One more time on the right.
And Natalie to the left, please. Straight ahead. Over the shoulder. Yes, over the shoulder. Yes. Gorgeous. Straight ahead. Thank you. Yep. Oh.
Grace over here like that. All the way over, Grace. Right here, please. And down here. Down here.
And guys,
Everybody on the
Mr. Hoffman right here, sir.
Everybody on the end, please.
Dustin.
I can Dustin stop fighting with this.
Don't look over here. Don't look this way.
All right, one more. Let's go. Guys together, straight ahead.
Everybody to your right, please. Ladies, you saw me right? Yeah, right here, please. Hold that. Right here, please. And ladies, right, all the way.
He is a very unconventional director, and he shoots in a very unconventional way. His process is very unconventional. His casting is very unconventional. Like, at no point was I expecting this to be like, you know, a run-of-the-mill usual experience, and that was definitely demonstrated in the process of shooting it. I mean, we came to work and we just didn't know what was going to happen. Francis is very kind of experimental. Sometimes we'd be very, very like particular, and then other days it was like we're playing a game and now it's in the movie. Like, the movie kind of discovered itself at times, and so it was like an experience I'd never had before, and you know, we'll probably never have again. So I'm very grateful for that. I think what this teaches us a lot about humanity and society is that we often fall into the same habits and mistakes, and you know, that age-old saying of like history repeats itself, but it will express itself in different ways, and you know, there's always going to be aspects that will feel familiar, you know. But I think this movie is particularly timely because we're at a point where we're talking about things like the future of our planet, the future of society. Who do we want to be? And some of these, especially now, like I feel like the world at times feels like it's in such a sort of like damning place. Like, it feels like so hard at times, and I'm sort of like, I don't understand these things. And like, who do we need to be? What choices do we need to make things better? And I feel like this movie just really speaks to that at this time. I always feel that it's a very small percentage of people. It doesn't matter where you are, whether I'm from the UK, obviously. There's a very small percentage of people who are making decisions for the masses, and that really shouldn't. I personally don't think that should be the case, but this is why we have our vote, and we get to vote. We're lucky to live in democracies where we get to have our say, and we get to impact change. And so, you know, I wish that people felt much more empowered to do so. The movie definitely just throws up a lot of questions and doesn't necessarily always answer them in a very like clean, like, you know, bow tied, like here you go and fed back to you. I think it forces us as audience members to answer these questions for ourselves, to challenge ourselves, and maybe in our small way we can affect change as we move through our lives, our little corner of the world that we live in. What things can we do differently? And I felt when I finished the film the first time, I was like, wow, I feel really optimistic. And I hope young people will watch it and feel that way too, you know. I would make it absolutely law that all animals are like taken care of and we all are responsible for them, as well as like children. That would be like, we would all be responsible for them in like an absolute, I don't know what the law would be, but it would be really like specific. And then there'd be lots of local gardens and vegetable patches that people can just take from and like as they please, that we house everybody. And I'd like some bedazzling somewhere, just to be cute.
It's special for me. I did a reading with Francis probably about 37 years ago around a table of actors, and I wondered what this film was. It had so much to say about a time that has come upon us. The film is really a film for its time. It means so much more to me today than it did 37 years ago when we read it, and it is a brilliant movie about the future. I play Mayor Cicero, who is steeped in an old way of thinking. He's a mayor who's come up through the blood and sweat of his political career, and he is a bit corrupt and has old ideas and not open to the new. His daughter falls in love with Cesar, who is a new industrialist builder with new ideas, a man who can stop time, who, as a mayor of a city, feels like this man has preposterous ideas. And through the journey of this movie, Mayor Cicero, makes a transformation to understand and how he can start to accept a new world. The great debate is that we have failed to be able to agree to disagree. We've failed to be able to come together, bringing your ideas, which I may not completely understand, and my ideas, which you don't want, together to form a better idea. And this is the problem with American politics today. The film really exemplifies much of the ideas that we want to move forward and get beyond. What are we doing here? We're experimenting. What do you want? Well, I'm finding out what I want on this day. Other days you come in, he's texting me at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning with an idea that spurns a thought. So by the time I get to the set, I have something new to offer that both of us didn't expect. He's a wonderful filmmaker and a wonderful storyteller, and you should see this movie in IMAX right away.
I'm very nervous. My stomach is churning, but I'm really excited, and I love the movie, and I'm happy to be a part of this ride. I'm like, along for it. Francis is incredible. He's a very amazing man in general, but also his creative process is totally, seeing it firsthand, you're like, this is definitely why you create things like that. And then when I saw the movie for the first time, I definitely was like, yeah, only Francis Ford Coppola would make this. In the best way possible. I'm so bored. Everything is so boring. Nothing's daring anymore. Everyone's so afraid of people not liking their work or who they are. And I'm like, guys, just someone make something you love already. I've thought this many times. I'm not sure if it was intentional, but it is very, applicable to right now, almost jarringly. It's almost so obvious. I don't know if that was intentional though. I think that change is scary in general, especially in a time where we need stability more than ever. And it's kind of like that fork in the, that circle of a question where it's we need change, but also we need everything to stand still. And that was really the controversy in this film, was destruction is needed for rebirth. And where does that lie? And how will we deal with that,
It was a dream come true, He's a legendary filmmaker, and the fact that he wanted me to, play this part was really insane. So, I tried to soak up every minute, and really just let it all wash over me. I think we're in a very interesting time, in terms of the decline of humanity. So I think it's a good time for this kind of message, you know. What can save the world? There's Bob. Yeah. That's Bobby. De Niro.
We're kind of in New Rome, if you think about it. New Rome definitely had a lot of New York influences, so it's really exciting to get to celebrate it here in the Big Apple, the Big Roman Apple. I play Claudia Pulcher, and she has these two rebellious sisters. They were around here. And we're sort of like trust fund bad kids, and we're bad influences on Nathalie. The movie opens with the big, you know, you see in the trailer, there's a horse, we're riding a horse and we're kissing, and it's very Roman and crazy, and then she kind of has to struggle if she's going to be loyal to us bad girls or, you know, evolve and grow. It's super surreal. I've looked up to him my whole life, and how kind, and he's a true artist, and I think that they're a dying breed of somebody who's not caught up with the studio system and just has a vision and wants to make it, and he let us be artists. And you're also with, like, you know, some of the greatest living actors of all time. It's insane. I hope that it inspires people to take risks and to have your voice and just make the art you want to make. I think that, like, you know, the industry's gone through so many changes, and I even deal with this on SNL. You know, it's like there's so many rules and like a playbook we all think we have to play, but Francis and this movie is just like, just make what you want to make, and there's an audience there.
I hope they feel the experience of movie going, because so many people, I'm not watching movies on this. Look, all right, I'm old, but there's nothing replaces your widescreen TV in the basement ain't gonna replace seeing this film in IMAX. This guy right here, that's my guy right there. Francis. I was at the first screening, the first regular screening of Apocalypse Now in LA. I was doing an internship at Columbia Pictures, 12 noon, the Cinerama Dome. 12 noon, Apocalypse Now. That was, I mean, them helicopters, I'm like, where the fuck is them? Where the helicopters go? Like helicopters flying over your head with the sound design. It was amazing.
I've been very lucky to work with Francis, Godfather 2. So I remember Francis, I was aware of it at least 30, maybe 35 years ago, maybe even longer. He was always talking about it. And then I went to, we had a reading somewhere in a studio in Brooklyn, not a studio, but a loft studio type thing, with Paul Newman and Uma Thurman, and I'm forgetting who else. But so he was working on it for a long time. I forget then how it changed from what I just saw today, excuse me. But it you know, obviously it was something that Francis had been wanting to do, working on for a long time in his head, blah, 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 you know.
I'm back in New York, where I was originally from, and it's in a big show place in New York at an IMAX theater, so it's a thrill. When you make a movie that's unusual and has never quite been made before, the movie tends to make itself, and it makes itself through the collaborators, through the actors. All of you are asking, well, let's do more of that. No, let's do more of that. And little by little, it makes itself. He says we need a debate about the future, and we want everyone in the world to take part of that debate. And that's what this film is saying, and that's what it's trying to do. I was working on really just understanding what kind of style I might have, and before I came to the idea to want to do a Roman epic with America as modern-day Rome.